Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Did you have a nice
Thank you so
Christmas?
much. Yeah, not too bad. Bit of a strange one, as I think, everybody did. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, the same. Yeah, it was nice. It was quiet. It was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's now like Crimbo limbo, isn't it? In between.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't put a tree up or anything this year, mainly because of Dolly. So it hasn't felt really Christmassy. Normally, like Boxing Day, I'm like, oh please, like take the tree down. I'm done. I'm ready for a fresh start now. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Look at Dolly. She's grown some.
Come
Hi.
on. We're sat in the conservatory, so she might be a bit barky because of the birds, but I was trying to keep
That's
away
okay.
from my husband because he's working today.
Okay. So we've got a consultation today. We've
Yes.
got around about half an hour.
Yeah, perfect.
And just to find out really what's happening. Obviously, it's been a while since we spoke.
Yeah.
And when Dolly was tiny.
Yeah.
What's happening? What
Yeah.
find out
So
really?
I think when we came to you for puppy school, we were just completely overwhelmed.
Okay.
We had wanted a puppy for so long, and we'd done all the reading, and we were as prepared as we thought we could be. And I think I particularly was just overwhelmed, definite case of the puppy blues. We had conversations where we spoke to the breeder about her having to go back, just because we weren't convinced that we were the right home for her. I don't know if you remember her situation where she was the only one of her litter that survived. So she had a couple of brothers and sisters. Both of them weren't strong enough to make it. Her mum was obviously distressed, didn't take to the puppy. So the breeder had another mum who'd had a litter at a very similar time. So Dolly went with them. So we don't know if that's ever played any kind of part in her development or anything. But yeah, when we saw you for puppy school, we were just losing our minds. We were not sleeping. We did about 2 months of crate training where, she'd sleep for an hour downstairs in the living room, which in hindsight, the crate probably should have been in the bedroom, but whatever we did, we thought we were doing the right thing in being, it's always going to be in the living room. Let's get her used to the living room straight away. So we did 2 months of completely broken sleep, no one getting more than hour. Bless you. No one getting more than an hour and a half sleep. And then we've cracked and we let her sleep on our bed now, and she sleeps through and she's a dream. We went to real life puppy school, which was good. Did all the basic things. So, sit and all that kind of thing, which she can do. I think if the mood takes her would be the right way to describe it for some of them. She is exceptionally food motivated. She, when I talk about separation anxiety, if we could give her 6 hours worth of food, she would happily be on her own for 6 hours. If she's got some food, she is in her happy place. But now, so she's coming up to 7 months. Obviously, we're aware that life might be changing for us next year. I imagine it's going to be a very long time before either of us are back in the office. But really want to use this time to not be complacent and to make sure that if and or when we're both back in any meaningful way, she's not suffering because of that. So I think I said our biggest challenges are something that's really come on, I would say, in the last couple of weeks, which is, I did look it up and I can't remember what it's called properly, but kind of barking if someone goes past the house, or there's a noise that's a bit unexpected, or there's a bird in the garden that she doesn't approve of. So that's definitely come on in the last couple of weeks. That she used to just bark at the postman if the door went, and that was fine. But yeah, that's definitely become more of a thing. Being able to kind of self-soothe or settle on her own. Again, this is probably a bad habit that we instilled in her from when she was a puppy and we were struggling, is she'll fall asleep on us and then we'll put her in her bed and 60% of the time she'll stay in her bed.
Okay.
But she very, very rarely will think, oh, I'm tired, I'll pop myself in my bed and have a sleep.
Uh-huh.
So then she ends up, grouchy and a bit grumpy. We end up a bit grumpy because, we just want to clean the kitchen or something. She's, jumping up at us because she wants to be held until she falls asleep. And then the classic, well, what I know now is a classic Dashan thing, is separation anxiety. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm chucking that around without a kind of, it's more or less serious than that, but she can't be, if we are, we can't even be upstairs and she's downstairs. So that's the kind of the level that we're working at. So the barking, kind of being able to settle on her own, and I guess that kind of comes with separation anxiety of being, content just to be chilling out in the living room if we're in the kitchen. Those are our biggest things. She's quite good on walks. She walks quite nicely. We haven't let her off the lead, just because we're a bit anxious. We did get told off a lot at puppy school for that, but she's a tiny little dot still, so she's only just over 4 kilos. And where we walk, there's quite a lot of quite big dogs. And she's quite good if they're big and chilled out. She's quite good. It's more there's a couple of puppies who are boxers, and they're just, because they're puppies as well, they don't have control of their limbs, and she's just this little thing, and they're like, what's this? Let's say hello with our giant paws.
Smack.
But yeah, we have a long line and she loves that.
Good.
So she can scamper around and have a bit of space, and we can work on recall and that kind of thing. So walks, she's quite good. What else? We seem to have cracked, well, I know with Dashans, it's a work in progress, but we seem to have cracked toilet training probably end of November. It really felt like we were just not making progress, and then she just seemed to get it, which is good. I think that's us. We just want to make sure we're kind of giving her the skills that she needs, and she's our first dog, and kind of take advantage of the fact that she's pretty much all we've got to concentrate and do at the minute, so use that to our advantage, I think.
Okay, so a lot of what you're saying is going to be age appropriate stuff, so it's going to be developmental. Age wise, sorry, I'm fidgeting around on my chair. I think I've sat still for this long for a week. So age appropriate wise, so has she had a season yet? Has she been in season yet?
No, so she's coming up, she'll be 7 months. Sorry, our neighbours are doing something noisy. She'll be 7 months on the 7th of January, so could be approaching at some point.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. And the reason that I asked that is because it could be on its way. With now you'll hear different discrepancies about this, but generally speaking, the smaller, the longer.
Yeah.
So I think Chip was about 8 or 9 months when she came into her first season, and then it was about the same again for her second season. So the general rule with dogs is every 6 months. So when they're at 6 months, they come into the first season, and then every 6 months they come into season. 3 months before, 3 months after. So she'll have like 3 months build up to that. And then once she's had a season, so once she's had like a 28 days, so once she's finished like bleeding and stuff, then she'll have 3 months of her hormones adjusting back to her normal. Okay. Also alongside, so age appropriateness, so there's a second fear stage.
Yes, I've been seeing about that,
So the second fear stage is basically where she would have been when she first got homed with you. So it's scary, everything's brand new. And a really good telltale sign is if something that wasn't previously scary, so it may be something really, really random. It might be something like the washing machine, might be a mop, a brush, might be somebody walking past the window that they didn't used to bark at, that suddenly they're then starting because they're like, well, what's this? I need to protect everything and everyone.
I'd been thinking about that because I've been like doing as much reading as I can, and I saw about that, so I've been more aware of her when we've been out, you know, if we've been walking her and it's dark, she's not very good. If it's rained and like the road's quite shiny, that seems to spook her. And I've been more aware of that when it comes to dogs or things when we're out, but I hadn't put that together with maybe the barking out the window.
Yeah. So she's barking out of the window. If she's got access to see out of the window, remove access.
Yeah.
Turn settees round, move your living room furniture around if you can, where you can.
Yeah.
If not, pull the blinds, close the curtains when you can't supervise her.
Yeah.
Get her to do something else. So at puppy school, did you learn a settle to a mat?
We did. So we did it. Well, we did it with the teacher gave us like a chew thing for her, and we've bought her pizzles since that. But she's. I think this is probably all coming back to the fact that and it's on us as owners, not on her, that we've often taken the easiest route. Like, you know, if we've had a video call or something with for work, you know, we've thought, right, she needs to be good. If she's sitting on our lap, she'll be good. So we'll give her a pizzle, but she's not very good at kind of having it on her own. Like, she'll chew it nicely if we're holding it, but then that defeats the whole object.
Yeah. It's good bonding though, really good bonding.
Yeah.
And for a puppy, it's really good because obviously she will have just got all of a full set of teeth as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Not always a bad thing. So in terms of like, do you have like mat training? Do you have like a?
I think that's probably something that we could work on. So we did. She the thing that she will love and will have on her own is a chicken foot. So if we give her one of those, then we have a specific mat that we try and do like settle. But I mean, I don't know how much of it goes in when she sees the food and she's so excited. I don't know if, obviously she can't understand most of what I'm saying, but if she's just like, oh my God, a chicken foot, and you know, anything else in the world could be going on, I don't know if the settle command, if we're teaching her it in a helpful way, I suppose.
Okay. So in an evening, so if you were having your dinner, would the mat be out then? Would she be able to go and eat a chicken's foot on the mat while you're in the same room?
Yeah, so we'd only give it to her maybe a couple of times a week.
Mm-hmm.
If we're having dinner, she will normally either have her dinner at the same time, if timings match up, or she'll have a lick mat or a Kong or something just to entertain her. But we don't use the mat then. And now I'm saying that out loud, maybe that would be something. Like, I've always thought, oh, I'll use that with the chicken foot, but maybe it should be more consistent.
So it may be that you're combining. So if you want her to use the mat more, so the reason I'm looking at the mat is because that's going to help you with the separation stuff. So
yeah,
I know you mentioned about separation. Statistically, males are more prone to it. It's not to say that females can't have it.
The
majority of puppies will have some form of issues being left alone. So when we talk about separation anxiety, it's really just an umbrella term. And it's true. Separation anxiety is a medical diagnosis.
Yeah, because I joined the in the early days. I can't remember her name. There's I joined her group.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I appreciate Dolly is probably quite bad in that, you know, if we leave the room, she'll chuck herself at the baby gate. But then I see some of the cases on there where, you know, they're medicated or, you know, I'm like, okay, I want to try and catch whatever it is, you know, before it gets bad. Because I know Dachshunds can be prone to it a bit more as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and you may or may not have heard Julie speaking about. There was a recent study, and Dachshund, Beagles, and one of the Spaniel breeds. Came out top. So all three of those breeds are kind of exposed somewhere along the line. The truth of separation is that nobody really knows what causes it. A nature versus nurture argument for it, genetics, what they've been exposed to, predisposed to, obviously where Dolly's come from, that could not have an impact. With a young puppy, I mean, she is still a young puppy, I would be more inclined to be doing independent stuff with her, so helping her feel okay when she's alone, but not just using that food as a like a placebo. Not using the food. So given maybe that she's doing something, so it may be that she has a lick mat and she's on her mat, and it may be that you just get up and start walking around. So she's starting to learn that something good happens, but it means that you're going to kind of be moving around, but don't push her too much too soon. So don't like walk out of the room, because then she's be like, where have you gone? And she's going to immediately follow you. And the idea is that you don't want her to be following you everywhere that you go. So like independence training, I call it independence training, and it's really the foundations of what I would teach for separation cases as well. And helping our dogs to learn it's okay to be on their own, because
and that's what I want for her, because I don't want her to be stressed, you know, every time I nip upstairs to get some laundry, you know. There's I want her to be happy just bimbling around in the house, really.
So it may be that when you go upstairs to go and get the, you know, go and do whatever it is that you're doing up there, it may be that you just say something to her, like if I'm coming upstairs and I'll say to Chip, wait, and I'll close the gate behind me so she can't get up the stairs. So there's that element of the control and management that she can't get up there in the first place, but just by asking her to wait, she knows I'm coming back. So
eventually, if we do end up going back to work, I imagine that my husband will work from home a lot longer than I will, because he worked from home before lockdown. The longest she would be alone is 4 hours. At what age would you imagine she'd be able to deal with that?
So that's a very difficult question to answer, and it really depends on how comfortable she is being left. So if you teach her to be okay with you moving around the house, moving around the same room, teach her nice and gradually, that then it doesn't become a problem. It's not a problem that you're leaving the house, because when you return, it's like you were never gone anyway. So to actually put an age on time, that's not something that I can give you. What I would say is work on just those little steps. So I tend to use the philosophy of making a cup of tea. So if you were thinking about making a cup of tea, the first thing you would do would be to stand up. So practice just standing up and sitting down while she's in the room with you. And the idea really is that you're boring her. The idea is that every time she gets up and realizes that you're not going anywhere, then eventually she'll be like, not getting up this time. And that's when you can start adding more steps in. So then you can like stand up, move around the room, go and do something in the room. So go and fiddle with something, whatever, you know, if you've got like an ornament or anything, it can just be something just in the same room but just a little bit apart from her. Go and fiddle with something in the room, and this is all your steps to making a cup of tea, but you just not got out the room yet. When she's comfortable, when you can see she's comfortable and she's laying down, she's sitting down, she's calm, then you can start stepping out the room and then coming back in again. So you're just looking for her to be calm all the time.
I think we almost need to go, well, I mean, interested in your opinion, we almost need to go like a step before that though, because in that example, I'm just thinking how that would work. If she's maybe I'll have a go at it this afternoon and see. If you're saying like, you know, she's get up and she's not interested, I imagine if I got up, she's standing up and looking at me. I suppose then I just need to do that enough that she doesn't stand up and look at me when I stand up. So
you're literally just going to bore her. So it may be that you have to stand up 100 times before she goes, right,
nothing exciting happens.
You actually going somewhere this time, or can I just stay here? Because actually what often happens is that when we stand up, our dogs then get into high alert. So we stand up and they're like, oh, going somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe to the fridge. Maybe I'm going to get something. Maybe maybe a treat's coming from somewhere. Maybe a chicken's foot. I'll try my luck. And each time we do that, we're basically saying, you need to come with me every time that I move.
Yeah.
So what you're going to be training her to do is, it's okay
you don't need to
stay on your own. And because it sounds like it's very small, but it will have like a huge change on what she's doing. And eventually you can build up to literally going into the kitchen, putting the water in the kettle, putting the kettle on, and then coming back in. And if she comes out of whatever room you're in to go to your kitchen, your living room to your kitchen, if she comes out of the living room and has a look where you are, that's fine. And what you're looking for is that she either remains in that room or comes out, has a look, and then goes back again.
Yeah.
If she starts following you around, then you've just taken the steps too far.
Yeah.
Too fast and too many.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
That's okay. And that's kind of the basics I would look at. So if she can settle to a mat, then use that. If she knows what settling to a mat is.
With settling to a mat, does that, and this was something I never really got to the bottom of with puppy school, does that always need to involve food, or should it eventually be that she associates that mat with just laying down, being chill, or does it always need to be like you have your Kong and then you chill?
So there's, to start with, while she's learning, it's going to be quite a lot of, there's going to be the food reinforcer there. If she's working for food, she enjoys it, then use it. What you can do is extend the time that they're there. So it may be that you ask her for the down position, or a side down, whichever she, laying down, whichever way she does it. And then you can delay before she has the reward. So you can just add the time up that way, or you can give her something longer lasting. So for example, with Chip, my dog, so we'll get the mat out, in those days when we're allowed to go to the pub, the mat would be on the floor, and then every so often she would just get a treat dropped to her. Okay, so it's not a constant flow of treats coming. In the beginning it is, because you want them to recognize that the mat is the best place to be and hang out. But as they get more and more confident with that mat, you want to be extending the time in between the treats, or give something longer lasting. So if you want to give her a Kong, that's fine, but make her wait before she has that Kong. And you're looking for a kind of around about 10 minutes is a good time to aim for. Now, don't just go from nothing to 10 minutes. I'm going to leave you with a Kong for 10 minutes. But if you are leaving her on the mat with a Kong, make sure you return before that Kong is finished. So if you're going upstairs to do your laundry, set her up with the Kong, then go upstairs. If she can't eat the Kong when you're away from her and she's starting to bark and get upset, she's too stressed.
She's so far, she, like I say, if she had 24 hours worth of food, I don't think she would blink that we weren't here. If she could just eat constantly the whole time, anything could be going on, we could be anywhere. She definitely, so I've seen like people say, if I'll give them a treat, and if I leave, they won't eat anything. I'm like, I don't think that would be a problem that we would have with her.
Like thinking of where you are going to leave her, so when you do go back to work, like, is there a place that she's going to be staying?
So we have a crate. We have a crate in the front room, which I've been trying to do a bit of training like this week while I've been off, just getting her like doing house, and then she'll jump in the crate and then she has a treat, and just kind of closing the door, but like sitting next to her, opening the door, she has a treat. She will go in that sometimes if she gets like a chew or something after a walk. She seems to quite like, and especially if she's got something she shouldn't have, she will run into her crate. So she obviously thinks of it as a safe space, albeit not somewhere she'll go and nap, but if she shouldn't have it, she's taking it to her crate. So yeah, the plan, don't really know what the plan is. I mean, the whole downstairs is like completely puppy proof, so there's nothing that she could get to we wouldn't be happy with her having. I would have thought maybe the kitchen, might be better, just depending on how the barking goes, because the living room's at the front where people walk past, and the kitchen's at the back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we haven't, because we've not really got that far.
Yeah.
But we have a camera for both rooms.
Okay.
So whichever one we pick, we know we can check in on her. So
yeah. So I would look at having somewhere that you know that she's going to be safe. So obviously puppy proofing, that's always a great thing to do. So having the crate, leaving the crate open so that she's free to come and go. A dog with separation doesn't necessarily want the crate door shut because it's a panic disorder. So you don't want to be shutting them into somewhere that then they're going to be fighting to get out of it, basically.
Yeah, and I don't know if we kind of spooked her with the crate, because when we first got her, probably as slightly naive puppy owners, we had a crate and then that was in a pen. And we tried to do all the things like, we fed her meals in the pen, but she hated it. Would chuck herself up at the walls of it. And we probably pushed through a bit too long with trying to make her like it. So I don't know if that's potentially, and now the crate's just in the living room and she can go in it if she wants, and we've taken the pen down. So
brilliant. Okay, yeah, so she's still got a bedroom, is what I would call it. Or a house, as you called it. And thinking of like when you are going to leave her, so it may be that she's quite happy that if you leave like a few treats just dotted around, and then leave the room and come back in, maybe that she's like, I didn't even notice that you'd gone. Or a treat ball. So I don't know if
we've got one of those, like the one you have to knock to make the treats fall out.
So they're always quite good because they're entertainment as well. So things that you'd be looking for before you kind of leaving her as such. So if she's been on a walk, she goes out on a walk, she's had a physical exercise, she comes back in, she has 10 minutes playing with you, and then she has 10 to 15 minutes of calming. So something calming, calm, lick mat, find it, something to find with her nose, puzzle ball, puzzle toy, and then you can scatter a few treats around the house or around the room that she's in, but that means that you're going. And build her up really slowly doing that. So although we need to have physical exercise, we also need to have that brain exercise as well. So that brain exercise is going to be 10 minutes of brain and scent exercising is worth an hour's walk.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a big gap. But if she's been on a walk, she's likely to be quite like wound up, if you like. And then if we're trying to leave our dogs, they're already at this height up here, and we really want them down here before we're leaving. So we're just bridging that gap.
So are there any I don't want to take up too much of your time. Okay. Are there any like brain tiring things that are particularly good that you found?
So I honestly lick mats. Kongs. So the licking induces calmness, the right hormones that are reducing down, calming down. Anything they can chew, so things that are friendly that they can obviously chew on. They're not gonna have bits off and be choking and stuff like that. So we use lick mats, we use Kongs, we use scattering food around the floor. So we used a bit of kibble just dropped on the floor. And to be honest, we have done that since day one. So Chip's crate is in our hallway. They get on the bottom of the stairs, and then we just shut that area off. So she's literally got probably about, 10 foot. And maybe like 3 or 4 foot wide. Dropping a few treats down, toilet rolls folded over at the edge with a treat inside so she can unpick them and get the treats out. And it may be that you leave like a cardboard box so she can just sniff, tip it over and get some treats from in there. So she's using her nose, but she'll start to learn to just sniff around. She's still young as well. It depends on what, like, the safety elements of it. Obviously supervision is always the main thing that you want to be looking at, so making sure that there's nothing either too big or too small that if she swallows it, it's going to get stuck. If she's a chewer and will shred things like cardboard, then it's not always ideal.
She does love a shred of some cardboard.
She's
never really taken to like plastic toys, so she loves the soft toys, she loves the crinkly ones, and so far, touch wood. She's not really gone for furniture, although a bit of it is penned off. But yeah, no, fabric seems to be her thing.
Yeah, and there's like maybe that you leave her a rope toy so she can chew on a rope toy, or snuffle mat.
Yeah. I bought her one for Christmas, and it was recommended by the seller was recommended by someone on one of the Dash and Facebook groups, and she loves it, but I don't think I can get it, it's in the kitchen. She loves it, but she loves the base that it's made out of rather than the snuffly bit. So it's the first thing, and I know Dash and, like, you see it on Facebook, like, you know, they destroy toys in 5 minutes, but she's never done that. But she managed to chew off the corner of the plastic base of the snuffle mat. So I'm like, thank you very much. So I might see if my husband can build like a frame or something for it to go in, because
maybe something
she did like the snuffly bit of it. And she does what we call tiny paws, which is just like little frantic digging. And she'll do that into a blanket, or like she was doing it into my jumper earlier. So I thought the snuffle mat's ideal, but maybe that Etsy one wasn't quite the one.
So it may be that you just use something like a towel, an old towel, put a towel, scrunch it up, put some treats in, scrunch it up.
Yeah.
And then just pop that onto the floor so she can just find a way with her nose.
Burn off some energy as well.
And then if you want to make it more difficult, just roll it up. So literally like you would a poster. Put a treat in, roll it up, treat, roll it up, treat, roll it up, treat, roll it up.
Yeah.
And then let her like work with her to show her how to do it.
Yeah.
So then when that appears when you're not there, she's like, oh yeah, I know how to play this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Just giving her different stuff to do.
Yeah. And how would it work with like getting ongoing support from you then?
Okay, so it depends on what kind of stuff you're looking for.
Yeah.
So what I would say is implement the stuff that we've gone through today.
Yeah.
We are looking at launching a very new product in, well, it's going to be probably towards the end of March, April, January, February. Yeah, towards the end of February, the beginning of March.
Yeah.
Which is going to be kind of a drop-in session. So it's going to be completely online. So it's going to be like monthly subscription.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to work at your own pace, but cover all of the things that we cover in puppy school, adult one-to-ones, like literally the whole lot of everything and any behaviours that you can think of. So literally from like puppies coming home, barking, biting, separation, everything's going to be in there. And it's going to be on a monthly roll-in, so you get access per month. And there'll be added extras in there, plus there'll be one-to-ones, sorry, not one-to-ones, like one-to-one like group sessions. So I'll be there, so it's kind of like a drop-in session. If you can make that session, you can drop in on that session. If you can't make that session, then you can catch it up, because it will be recorded and put into the portal as well. So that would be something that we're probably aiming for. We do still have like one-to-ones and stuff like that. We have like one-to-one puppies. And we have I can't think what the word is. We have like the ongoing support for kind of like one-to-one clients who are dealing with sort of specific behavioural issues. So it really depends where you kind of sit in, really. I mean, because you're first time owners and you've got a young dog, I would be kind of more inclined to be putting you towards the kind of monthly. So you're getting both sides. So you're getting like a load of pre-recorded stuff, but you're also getting drop-in sessions as well. Which gives you the opportunity to ask questions either to myself or Bethany. I mean, you met Bethany before. So there's going to be a lot of changes, should we say, in 2021. The majority of our stuff is going to go, well, it already is online, but it just needs to be kind of more formatted, so it makes it makes a bit more sense. Currently in post-it notes. But Yeah, so that's kind of how the ongoing support is going to work as of sort of the end of Feb, March. In between time, obviously, if you need to have a chat, if you want to have a chat, then I'm here, I'm around.
Yeah.
If you wanted to resit puppy school, you'd be more than welcome to do that. Our puppy school has changed quite a lot. I can't remember when was it that you joined?
We would have done probably, well, she came home start of August, and I think she was relatively young, so I would imagine it was maybe mid-August.
Yeah, it'd be either August or September then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, that time is very much a blur.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons that we run puppy school, because actually it's overwhelming. It's a massive challenge in, like, if you've not had a puppy before, it's like, oh,
it was it was a whole thing. And I think because she was so tiny as well, it was just like, we'd just be looking at her and just like, oh my God, what have we done? There's a tiny rabbit in the house, but it's a dog, and oh my God, and everything, and she's so small. It was an interesting time. I don't know who was crying more at that time, me or her.
It's very normal, honestly. It's very normal. We had like an emotional.
I appreciated how normal it was though, because I spoke to the breeder and I was like, oh, I don't know if we're doing the right thing, and she's not sleeping through, and in hindsight I think that was just a normal thing, but the breeder was like, oh well, maybe you're not the right home for her, and so then I was getting wound up by the breeder as well. So now whenever I see anyone, like, I hadn't joined a lot of the Facebook groups at that point, but whenever I see anyone say like, oh, I'm completely overwhelmed, I don't know if I've done the right thing, I'm straight there commenting like, don't worry, it's fine. I had it, you will get through, don't worry.
Yeah, and that's why I'm very open about it and say it was a massive challenge, massively challenging. I remember Chip was like 10 weeks old and was flinging herself off the sofa. I was like, what the hell are you doing? What are you actually doing?
We bought a ramp for the sofa, and she's really, really good at going up it. And then she flung herself off the sofa instead of going down the ramp. And I was like, right, no more ramp for a while, because she's not big enough to get on the sofa on her own.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, no sofa, no ramp privileges for you, young lady.
And it's just literally how you have to be with them when they are so young and so tiny. But yeah, I mean, you sound like you're doing a great job. You've been to puppy school, you're kind of getting everything in place. And what I would say is just keep practicing with her. So don't just think you've been to puppy school, that's it, you've got that nailed. Like, keep that going. Whatever you learned there, keep practicing, even just little bits, 5-10 minutes a day.
And in terms of just very quickly, sorry, in terms of the barking, obviously we can, draw the curtains and not let her on the sofa. I don't think we can really move things around because of wires and stuff. But so we've been trying to do like thank you when she's barked, but that she just seems to lose her mind and she's just so lost in the barking. Is there anything else we can do? Or
what about a recall to the kitchen?
Okay.
So
just to distract her.
Yeah. So I wouldn't imagine that her barking is going to be anything other than developmental and potentially that fear stage. So I would look at, does she know the sound of the fridge when the fridge opens?
Yes, yeah. She definitely knows the sound of like treats being rattled in a tub. That is her.
Go into the kitchen, make that noise. And then recalling. So you rewarding the recalling, not the barking.
Yeah.
So she's not getting anything for that barking. So it becomes like, well, actually it's better to go to you in the kitchen because I'm going to get something for that, whereas barking at the window, I'm not going to achieve anything. Supervision where you can. If you know that she's going to a particular place to be able to bark, then call her away from that area, get a squeaky toy out, make a silly sound with your mouth, so that she's then like, oh, what's that? Instead of doing that, give her something else to do. Ask her to go and settle to a mat and reward her from the mat.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So just alternate things.
If we wanted, or probably I wanted to talk to you like in a couple of weeks just to check in, how would that work for a consultation then? Is it an hour, half an hour? Like, what's the cost?
Drop me a message. We can do this again. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Not a problem. We can have a chat, see where you are, and see where you're kind of wanting to get to as well.
Yeah, that would be really helpful. Like I say, I'm off this week and next. So yeah, nothing else to do. So I want to just kind of max out on giving her a good chance.
Yeah, there's a good book. I don't know if you've read it or not, which is Easy Peasy Puppy Squeezy.
Yes, no, we bought that after because Bethany mentioned it on Puppy School, and it is really good actually. There's a couple of things, particularly around the doorbell, which we're going to try and do this week, where it's like, you know, one of you make the doorbell, like make the noise, and then the other one just walks to the back of the house and gives her a treat, because that's definitely something that we can easily work on. So that's been really good, that book.
No, that's often quite a because it's a nice easy read as well.
And especially as kind of first time people as well, he puts it all quite, you know, easier to digest. And
he does for trainers as well. He's trained a lot of us as well, so he's a nice bloke. But no, drop me a message in a couple of weeks' time. Let me know how you're getting on. And you know, as and when, you know, if it gets to the point that you kind of want to thinking about joining us towards the end of sort of Feb, then we can do that.
No, definitely. No, that sounds really interesting. And you know, there's always she's always going to have things that we need to work on. It's just going to change as she gets older. So you know, there's always
the more that you'll end up being invested in training as well, because you'll be like, oh yeah, she really likes doing this, and actually if you can see she enjoys it and you enjoy it, then you'll want to do it more, depending on what it is. You know, it could be scent, it could be agility, it could be whatever. But there's always options.
Thank you.
That's okay.
That's super helpful. And I will definitely be in touch, whether that's for consultations or the subscription thing. That all sounds really, really helpful. Thank you so much for seeing me today.
No worries.
That is much appreciated.
No worries, not a problem. Give me a shout in a couple of weeks.
Much.
Take care.
We'll
Speak
soon.
Care.
Bye.
Bye.